What's up, everyone? It's your girl JJ. We're here with China's Disturbing Fake Face Girl. Let's go watch
You
it.
ever feel like you might be late to finding love? Maybe someone your age just got married or just fell in love. Or maybe they just went through 4 divorces at 20 years
Dang.
old. This is Abby, a Chinese influencer whose entire life revolved around constantly changing her
What the
face so that she could
turd?
marry a new guy every year. She's someone who
What?
realized that every failed plastic surgery she got would make her viral. So she took advantage of that and kept undergoing procedures,
Oh my
hoping that it would
goodness.
fail. She goes by the saying, every new relationship always needs a new face. She's talking about herself. I've got an insane story for you guys today because Abby is no ordinary girl. She's probably in the top 3 most famous influencers of Douyin who reached celebrity level and is also known as China's most rebellious teenager. This girl not only went through 4 divorces with rich influencers at 20 years old, but she's also the pioneer of the infamous bubble face image that terrified netizens across China. She's known for looking like a completely different person every couple of months by getting face transplants. Pretty much, if you marry her, you're destined to have your life ruined. Marriage is just a free trial to her, and this entire obsession with marriage and plastic surgery all started when she was just a kid. Abby was born in Nanjing, China in 1999, and for the first 10 years of her life, everything was relatively normal, just a pretty average childhood. That's until her parents got divorced. Now, the divorce wasn't the main issue. It was what happened afterwards. Her mother eventually remarried and wanted to start a new chapter of her life. Unfortunately, this chapter involved a stepfather who was an alcoholic. Abby said that her mother and stepfather just abandoned her at a house in Nanjing for a couple
What?
months, only like leaving her with her dog. And school wasn't much better either. She got involved with the wrong crowd, started drinking, partying, and even
Sheesh.
eventually just dropped out of school in secret. She basically rebelled against everything, and it's not surprising considering how uninvolved her parents are in her life. So at just 14 years old, she secretly took the pocket money she earned and
What?
got her first plastic
What?
surgery without telling her parents.
14?
And her parents immediately found out when they looked at her nose and realized that something was different. They were devastated, and the first thing they decided to do was sign her up for a reality show. Yeah,
What?
that's probably the last thing you thought I'd say. And
Wait. She's the metamorphosis girl that we just saw. Oh my god. What on earth? But girl, what?
this wasn't any ordinary reality show. This show is called Transformation, and it is huge in China. The whole idea was taking rebellious city kids and then sending them to extremely poor rural areas so that they could experience hardship and hopefully learn to appreciate what they had. And Abby
How much was the plastic surgery that they didn't know? Oh, well, in Asia, I think especially, well, this is China, but especially like Korea, there's cheaper ones. You shouldn't really go to the cheap ones. But also there's there are places that are known, like not known, but if you do plastic surgery, they don't do it right, or they have like a fake doctor. You gotta be careful with that. But this one, um, they just said that her parents were neglectful, so that's how she was able to get away with it. That's probably how they didn't notice.
ended up getting sent to a mountain village, and of course, life there was nothing like she'd ever seen before. In this family, the adults were either working all day or in prison, and the eldest son had to raise his younger siblings all by himself. And then something happened that genuinely affected her. She met a girl wearing tattered clothes who hadn't eaten, so Abby took it upon herself to cook noodles for her. The kid took it, and instead of immediately eating it herself, the first thing she did was share the noodles with her younger siblings so everybody could have something to eat. And that scene alone made Abby break down in tears. Because probably for the first time in her life, realizing that no matter how difficult her circumstances were, it was not as bad as this. She realized that there were people struggling even more than her, and despite that, they still cared for one another. I mean, it's clear that she needed to see this in person with her own eyes to understand this. She could have just watched a top 5 saddest commercial video, but that just doesn't hit the same. When she returned home, she hugged her stepfather, and he promised that he would support her. She promised that she wouldn't get any more plastic surgery, like she's done. And for a moment, it really looked like she was turning her life around. And she was, in a completely different way. Also, while I was back in Asia, it took me almost a year to find a doctor. I just kept telling myself that I'd figure it out eventually,
Oh
and I
my
actually
goodness,
got
this
a
is
really
another
bad ache in
ad.
my eye. I was just searching up random Comparing that to putting it a whole year off, zero stress this time. So if you've got an appointment that you've been putting off, one click is all it takes. I know it may seem small, but just clicking the link in the
Still, bro, I'm gonna stick and slap you with the wiener. Oh my, what? Oh my goodness. What? What? Two miscarriage. What the bingus did I look at?
wasn't gratitude. It wasn't being a better person. No. She realized she liked the fame. And for the first time in her life, millions of people were paying attention to her story. And more importantly, attention can become money. And money can get her plastic surgery, which ultimately gets her more attention. Because from that point onward, Aeyvi pretty much just discovered the formula that would define her entire life. After her fame from transformation, she started building her own online business and began selling products through live streams. She wasn't a huge influencer yet, but she was learning the game. She knew people didn't just buy products. They buy stories and they buy drama. Like, nobody is sitting there watching someone sell tea for 3 hours. This is also where her plastic surgery obsession went completely off the rails, because she realized that if she kept getting plastic surgery, she could attract male celebrities and look different every time things didn't work out.
You know what's crazy? There's a guy who had plastic surgery, and he looked decent when he was younger. But he kept getting nose surgery. He wanted a smaller nose to the point that it just got botched up, and now he has to wear this thing in order to breathe through his nose. And I'm just like, bro.
A famous quote she said is, "Starting from today, I'll keep getting plastic surgery until I'm old." And she wasn't joking. This girl went on an absolute surgery spree. The first major thing she did was try lifting her face with fillers. Except, things went horribly wrong because it turned out the fillers were counterfeit and they contained growth factors. And if you guys remember the growth factors I talked about before, this failure was the origin that created the bubble face photo that terrified people across all of China. And here's the crazy part, she leaned into it because she realized people couldn't stop talking about it. Every failed procedure became viral and every new surgery raised questions. Okay, wait a second. My surgeries, failed or successful, are paying my bills. The Douyin algorithm was basically rewarding her for ruining her own face. And once she realized that, there was no stopping, because she later underwent 6 nose surgeries by using her ear cartilage and the bone from her ribs to implant into her nose. And because of this, too much tissue in her nostrils had been cut away, and her nostrils became so small to where she can't even breathe properly. She literally has to use her fingers to open her nose every time she wanted to take a deep breath. And these unnatural features slowly start to become a part of her identity. She even said, "I did this for you guys. You said my nose was too upturned, so I changed it." And after all of these procedures, this eventually led us to her first marriage. She met this influencer named...
Bro, what? She still got someone, okay, like, who was down with that, who was like, yep, I'm into it. Bruh, metal surgery?
Mr. Pig. Now, his real name is Qiu Xitian, but almost everyone knows him by his nickname, Mr. Pig, so we'll call him that, and you'll understand why in a bit. Aeyvi was 18 years old at the time, and she quickly fell in love. And before long, 18. She became pregnant. And instead of keeping the pregnancy private, she live streamed it. I'm serious. When she was giving birth, she decided, why not take advantage of this and start selling some products? Imagine entering the world and the first thing waiting for you is chat. The daughter was nicknamed Little Pig by Aeyvi. And they didn't just live stream the birth. Her wedding was even crazier because the entire wedding ceremony itself became a giant live stream sales event. They sold products and gained more than 3.2 million followers. Then even reportedly earned around 1.8 million yuan during the wedding stream. They understood netizens and they gave the people a show. Unfortunately, relationships built on hype and attention usually don't have happy endings. Because only about a week after their wedding, Aeyvi accused Mr. Pig of cheating. She started a live
What?
stream crying and claimed that he was having an affair with
What?
another influencer. She also accused him of assaulting her during the wedding behind the scenes.
What?
She said on that wedding day, Mr. Pig demanded 400,000 yuan from her, and when she refused, he slapped her 22 times. Of course, Mr. Pig fired back. He accused her of being the unfaithful one. No,
Oh my
you are the
goodness.
no, you are the one doing it. He pulled the good old Uno reverse card. Both sides were making allegations, no you did this, no you did this, like pointing fingers, and eventually they got a divorce. The end. No, because 4 months later, they remarried.
No!
Aeyvi is still 18 years old, by the way, and she's been married.
What? ¿Qué? What? How? ¿Por qué? Dígame. Why? Bro.
2 times now and has a child. She's already collecting marriage certificates like Pokemon cards. And here's the thing, getting remarried after a divorce is pretty uncommon in China because statistically, second marriages have lower success rates. And they proved that statistic because 1 year later, they divorced again. And it was even uglier than the first time because she claimed that her daughter, Little Pig, was diagnosed with heart disease. Mr. Pig agreed to take her daughter to the hospital only after his live stream was over, which is just insane. Like, how far have we gone? Then one thing led to another, and then accusations just kept escalating. Aeyvi said Mr. Pig was a womanizer. She accused him of living off her money while using it to secretly buy another woman gifts.
Don't they
And
have
Mr.
both
Pig,
accounts?
no, you did that. You see why netizens call him Mr. Pig now? At this point, these two had more allegations than anniversaries, and every single accusation became a trending topic, which gained Aeyvi a lot of attention. Because as messy as it sounds, your brain goes, okay, this is terrible.
I
What
want to know
happens
more.
next? Eventually, Aeyvi obtained custody of their daughter, Little Pig. And keep in mind, she received 50% of Mr. Pig's assets from this divorce. Court documents also showed that Mr. Pig had to pay 10,000 yuan per month in child support.
What?
Now, after this entire scandal exploded, Aeyvi became even more well known in the influencer world. She started skyrocketing on Douyin, Weibo, like every platform on Chinese social media. Her business exploded and she started earning around 50 to 60 million yuan every year from her online branding. She became wealthy enough to buy herself multiple luxury cars, Rolls Royces, Bentleys, everything. At 18 years old, there were even claims that she obtained hundreds of millions of yuan from Mr. Pig after the divorce. And around this period, she also became friends with Hime. Yes, our shoulder pad master himself. If you guys remember a video from a couple months ago, it all circles back. Now, after her divorce, Aeyvi started thinking about her face again. She didn't want her current appearance to affect her future relationships. She considered it bad luck and wanted a fresh start. And you know what fresh start means? A new face. And this time, she got the infamous smiling lip surgery.
What is
7
that?
times. She underwent procedures to create M-shaped lips to permanently make it look like she was smiling. Then she injected fillers to achieve a constantly pouty face. As for her eyes, she wanted them bigger, so she underwent lower eyelid retraction and fox eye surgery. She pretty much got every eye procedure in the book, and she literally said that she wanted to show the
Ay, ya no puede con esto. Ya no puede. Ay, ah. Sheesh. Bro. How can you do so much surgery to your face?
white part of her eye as much as possible. And already looking at her face in this photo at the dentist, netizens pointed out how her skin was already peeling like painted skin. And it's pretty obvious. And now she has been reborn again, a new Aeyvi with a new face, which of course comes with a new man. This leads us to her next target. His name was Mado. Exactly 1 year after divorcing Mr. Pig, Aeyvi met Ma at a nightclub. And again, he's a pretty big influencer. This one might be the weirdest relationship so far because these two met, fell in love, and decided to get married in the span of 10 days.
What?
I mean, it's just love at first sight. What else could it be?
10 days. 10 days, bro. Oh my goodness.
10 days? We don't even get past the talking
Oh
stage
my
in
gosh,
10
you thought the
days.
same
But
thing
if you do
too.
want to get past that,
Ay,
you gotta smell good with cheeky soap. They even
oh,
got
this man
Chainsaw
with the
Man
stupid
and solo
soap.
leveling
Ay,
soap.
yo no
Check out the link in
puede.
the description to support your boy. And before netizens could
Bruh.
even finish congratulating this newlywed, multiple women that were fans of Ma suddenly came out and said they had receipts. Screenshots of Ma flirting with them, asking them to video chat, trying to meet up with them. Then some people accused him of allegedly working as a male escort in Nanjing. They also accused him of being a sea king, as in there are plenty of fish in the sea, and the sea king knows all the fish. I mean, it hadn't even been more than 2 weeks since their marriage and this guy's already getting cancelled. So naturally, everybody waited to see what Aeyvi would say. And she actually defended him. She insisted that there were no overlap in timelines and he was completely loyal. Basically saying that none of this happened while they were together. Meanwhile, Ma was trying his absolute hardest to prove that he loved her. Prove to his fans, of course. He tattooed a giant Aeyvi on his arm and also sent her 999 roses. Okay, maybe this one works out. No, because a week later, they got a divorce. And that tattoo was a temporary tattoo. Turns out those messages were actually real, and Aeyvi accused him of trying to hook up with his fans, then also saying that he tried to extort 2 million yuan from her, and Ma started making his own accusations, calling Aeyvi a drug user, which Aeyvi denied. And just like that, another marriage over. This one was pretty short-lived though. But remember, this was another viral topic that had been born, which made headlines. And who benefited from all of this? Aeyvi. The divorce became one of the biggest talking points of that year. She looks so different. Again,
I can't even. Can you even? Oh my! She looks so different, bro. She looks so different. I don't even, bro. Like, ¿por qué? Bro, you're gonna, bro. They had to burn her childhood photos or something like that. How are you gonna explain that? Like this one thing. You know what? Go send it my way. Send it my way, Dream Bunny. Like, give me that cheddar. Oh my goodness. What you mean? What's wrong with my mic? Anywho, I do need to know everything. Send the cheddar my way. What is going on?
Aeyvi gained around 50% of his assets from the divorce. I'm starting to see a pattern here.
How?
Maybe, just maybe, she's doing all of this on purpose by using romance for fun and then milking the guys once she's bored.
Maybe. That's
Never mind. What am I saying? By now, she had been officially married 3 times and divorced 3 times. And you already know what comes next. Another divorce means another face. And this time, she went absolutely all out. We're talking 8 nose jobs, jaw reduction, more fillers, elf ears, bone shaving, and so much that I can't even name them all. She also posted photos of herself undergoing body liposuction, which is an extremely serious procedure. She wanted to completely change her figure by removing all the fat in her thighs, arms, belly. Essentially, she wanted to achieve her ideal appearance without exercising and losing weight. And when people saw these photos, a lot of netizens were genuinely horrified. People were like, she's rich, but also willing to risk her life? This is terrifying. One day she might actually die on the operating table. And at this point, Aeyvi had already undergone 35 procedures and spent over 800 to 900,000 yuan. Almost the price of a small house. And after getting all these surgeries and recovering, guess what happened? Another relationship. In 2025, 1 year after divorcing Ma Zixin, Aeyvi fell in love again. This time with the influencer Song Ha-ren.
That kiss felt so weird.
And after getting all these surgeries and recovering, guess what happened? Another relationship. In 2025, 1 year after divorcing Ma Zixin, Aeyvi.
Okay. I'm low-key scared because of... Is this... Okay, this is the makers. You can tell the nose is off. Look, the nose is complete. How much did she do to the nose? She's almost missing a nostril.
Fell in love again.
Bro, that kiss. What is that kiss? What is that kiss? Dígame eso. Why is her dress looking like that too? But like, what is that kiss? Bro, that looks so. Okay, also this looks freaky in general. I'm not gonna lie. This looks so freaky because she's just like, it looks like a doll, but like, I don't know how to explain it. Oh my goodness, like, oh, okay, I know. It looks like one of those dolls, the adult dolls that guys like to have, if that makes sense.
This time with the influencer Song Haoren, and this time
Exactly what I just said, Dream Bunny. Exactly what I was trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like it looks like one of those dolls. Those dolls, the adult dolls. Okay, Pi, you need to go to the jail, to the dungeon with you. That is a completely new face. That's a completely new face. Wait, is her eyes uneven?
the song
Wait, has he gotten surgery? Cause like, bro, I don't know. I don't know at this point.
was 5 years younger than her. Song
5
was
years.
19,
19?
and Abby was just
Oh
turning
my
24.
goodness. Oh my
And I know
goodness.
5 years isn't some insane age gap, but
No,
the
but
problem
this
was that he
man
was still under the legal marriage age at the time.
What?
Meaning they couldn't officially register their marriage yet. But Abby, don't take no for an answer. We can't legally register yet? That's okay. Let's just do the wedding banquet anyways. So she held the banquet anyways, which forced Song to give her a bride price of 88,000 yuan for the marriage. You see what's going on here? Now this time, the relationship did feel much different. Song quickly leveraged this newfound fame and launched his own livestream business. But he would only post these sweet moments with Abby where he was cooking for her when she was sick, taking care of her, being all lovey-dovey online. And for once, it actually seemed like this younger guy was in love with Abby for who she was, regardless of her past.
Only 50K?
The whole thing definitely looked way more genuine than her other relationships. Netizens were even like, they're perfect together. This is real love. She finally found
Only
the right
100K?
person. And then Song
worth
turned
1
20
billion
years
at
old
least.
and could officially register the marriage and formalize everything. They later had a daughter named
What?
Yumi.
Whoa,
So
whoa, what happened
Abby
to her
now
eye?
has 2
Hold up.
daughters. And formalize everything. They later
What is going on with her eyes right now? Is like she having like a cornea problem? Like what? Oh yeah. It looks like it's like red or something like that. What's happening? What's happening right here?
had a daughter named Yumi. So Abby now has 2 daughters, Little Pig and Yumi. Now imagine
That's
raising
crazy.
2 kids while being one of China's biggest drama influencers whose entire life plays out online. It gets pretty messy. Song was trying to make this work out as much as possible. He was taking care of Little Pig and Yumi. They even had these fun little moments where Little Pig was calling him brother instead of dad. Because, I mean, he is 20 years old. And of course, as time passed, people immediately became suspicious. Because, I mean, every time Abby enters a relationship, there's always a catch. A lot of netizens thought that Song was only with Abby because she was rich and famous. But Abby always told people on stream that her family dynamic was healthy. She said Song wasn't after her money, and even if he was, she said she had plenty to give him anyways. Okay, but when you have a mindset like that, eventually the cracks started appearing. One of the biggest tensions was raising the kids because according to Abby, she wasn't allowed to hug Yumi at home because hugging her younger daughter would make Little Pig unhappy and jealous. And Little Pig also often hit Yumi multiple times during arguments, and Abby just didn't do anything. So Song was extremely unhappy with this. It seems that there is some favoritism going on, right? And then another massive issue exploded. The bride price. Abby found out that Song's mother had given Song's brother's wife a bride price of 188,000 yuan plus 3 gold jewelry pieces. Meanwhile, Abby only received 88,000 yuan from his mother and no gold jewelry, which obviously, to her, is unequal treatment. Why am I being treated like charity? In her eyes, this wasn't even about the money. It was about the respect. She obviously wasn't receiving the same treatment as another daughter-in-law. And this started another huge argument because Song's mother started beefing with Aeyvi and calling her the plastic surgery ghost who brings bad luck to her.
Oh my goodness. Oh, you beefing with the mama online now? Bro, you beefing with mama online is crazy. Oh yeah, she said, listen, if you wanna talk smack, I'ma bring it out. I'ma tell them all the tea.
Her husband. Wow. And during this, Song took his mother's side and did not defend Aeyvi at all. A few days passed and everything started to settle down until Aeyvi started a stream and came forward about something she found on Song's phone. She said that while she was pregnant with Yumi, she found messages, and these messages was Song being affectionate with another man. She posted screenshots and the internet absolutely exploded because this was a completely different situation. Things were already getting feisty with the favoritism and the beef with Song's mom.
I didn't want to say nothing. But I'm not surprised. I was just like, bro, if he hasn't had plastic surgery, he's really working it. So,
Song,
my goodness.
when he found out about this, he was furious. He started a stream where he completely lost control. He went into the kitchen, grabbed a knife, and shouted, "I have to make things clear today." This was crazy. His aunt also tried calming him down during this, and then he also shouted, "She did some illegal things herself. Doesn't she know that?"
He's not denying it. He's not denying it. Oh my god. Bro, the tea is brewing. The tea is stirring. Bro is not denying it. Oh, yeah.
闭嘴！
He's a wiener eater. He's a wiener eater.
来，
直播间能这样吗？
我觉得，我说实话实说，来，
你别拿，
别动！我他妈今天都该死，
停一下，停一下，
对不对？难道我没有把这个钱放到家里吗？钱不出去吃喝嫖赌了吗？
没有。
不行，不行！这样，他妈也要把所有事情说清楚。
不能这样。
你觉得还忍？他到底干嘛了？他自己做了一些。
For the first time, Song is finally revealing his true colors. Netizens were looking at this man this entire time as an innocent, caring, and loving young man. And as he was still crashing out, his aunt immediately took his phone and ended the live stream. This entire thing pretty much broke Chinese internet because some influencers started giving their opinions, some people picked sides, other influencers just avoided discussing it completely because they didn't want to be involved in the drama. And the viewership numbers, generational. Which once again brings us back to Aeyvi's entire plan since she was a child. The more attention, the more money. And then just a couple months ago, back in January, they officially divorced. Meaning that by the age of 25, Aeyvi has now been married and divorced 4 times. At this point, netizens weren't even surprised anymore. People started calling her a marriage blogger. Now, after this divorce with Song, Aeyvi kept custody of the children. She kept the house, the cars, almost everything. And Song later even said that he wasn't even planning to fight for custody of their daughter. He also admitted that he had benefited from Aeyvi's fame and popularity, but denied accusations that he simply used her and ran away, pointing out that he no longer wanted the house or the cars. And once again, Aeyvi received around 50% of Song's assets through his.
But he ain't say that he wasn't getting the wiener eater energy, huh? He didn't deny that. He didn't deny that. Bro is a wiener eater. He's a wiener. Yo, we can actually say that, chat. Say it with me, chat. Wiener eater, wiener eater. He could choke on a wiener, choke on a wiener.
Live stream e-commerce e-commerce business. And now she's a multi-millionaire with one of the biggest followings across Douyin and all of Chinese social media. She built her career brick by brick, scandal by scandal, marriage after marriage. She's probably the #1 most controversial modern influencers there is, and she also has tens of millions of fans and haters watching her now. If you're curious, this is what Sung is up to now.
1, 2, 3, go!
He's not. He definitely can't deny it.
来准备什么呀？小哥，不给动！来给米粒，来手。
All my boys in the chat. If you did a split like that, how painful is that? How painful is it to do a split like that? Yeah, he's definitely. Bro is getting. He's going horizontal with a XY chromosome, if you know what I'm saying. Well, if you know, you know. Ooh, you be putting ice on your wiener for 3 days.
Go! 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 Go!
He also has millions of netizens asking him every day if he likes men or women. And where is Abby today? Well, she has another boyfriend. I know, nobody could have expected that. Luckily, they're not married. Yet. And yes, he's even younger than Sung. She still posts the relationship online in a very high profile way, and she still raises both of her daughters, Lil Pig and Yumi. Honestly, the saddest part about all of this is probably the kids, because Lil Pig actually reportedly developed ADHD from all of the negative publicity. And Yumi has already become entangled in a bunch of rumors with her dad's Song, which will obviously follow into her teenage years. When it comes to Abby, she was a kid who grew up feeling abandoned, and just that little bit of online attention consumed her entire life. It made her feel seen, which led her to searching for money, love, validation, and a fresh start through surgeries and marriage. And she's self-aware that she's been trapped in this endless loop to keep her influencer career. But this is her entire life now, and it's what makes her happy. As someone who hasn't been through a marriage or a divorce, who am I to say what's right and what's wrong? Maybe this wasn't about the money. Maybe it was about the divorces we made along the way. Guys, just please don't get married to someone as a free trial.
Oh my goodness. Well, that was the video chat. Oh my goodness, that was some good tea. That was some good tea, chat. I ain't gonna front, bro, chat. If you guys saw this, right, Lulu in the chat is a wiener eater. And with that being said, y'all have a great one. Ciao.